Hello, and welcome to That Girl Magic, the podcast where we explore the transformative power of wellness, self improvement, and magic. I am your host, Karinna Franco, and I'm thrilled to embark on this journey of discovery with you.
Hi, I hope you are doing super well today. I'll be honest, today is kind of an impromptu episode. It came because at this current moment, it is June 18th. I just turned 28 on the 16th. And a couple things happened, and I kind of want to talk about it and let my heart out and see where that takes the episode. This might not be a big episode or might be the biggest episode. We shall see how that goes. But I just want to talk from my heart. As some people may know from following me or from being in my personal life, you know that my parents divorced when I was around 10 years old. And my relationship with my father just kind of went downhill the more years that passed. And now, being 29 and my birthday being 2 days ago, I look back and I think that at least he called me, and this time he didn't. For the first time in my life, my own father decided I wasn't worth enough to get a happy birthday. No text, no call, nothing of the sort. And I look back and I think how long I stayed in therapists, doctors, depression medication, anxiety medication. I had panic attacks constantly, not only because of other facets of my life that were included in the diagnosis, but a portion of it was definitely a very heavy trauma associated to men because of my father. My father, up until the time of the divorce, he was a very loving father. He was very attentive. Even though with his job, I only saw him mostly during weekends and vacations, he was one of the best people that you could hang around. He was fun, he was active, he took me to all kinds of places to visit and explore. And unfortunately, after my parents' divorce, which came by his own decision, not my mother's, because it was basically one sided, it caused a rift in the relationship that it shouldn't have, because divorce is in between the adults, not the children. But unfortunately, more times than one, I was put in positions where my mother would hold neutrality towards my father, but my father would hold hostility towards my family. And when I mean family, I mean even his own parents. Because my grandparents, his parents, decided that it was unfair what he did to my mother, and they took her under their wing. Meanwhile, my father just was mad that he didn't got the support. And looking back now as an adult and seeing myself now in a state of age, of mind, of seeing the world with, whether I like it or not, the lens of an adult, because I have now worked for years. I have studied. I will continue to study for as long as I enjoy it. I will continue to work in all kinds of places. And I see myself with this platform where I can speak my mind and speak my story and speak my life own lessons. And it saddens me to think that there are people out there like my father that one minute they're loving you, the other minute you feel unloved, and the other minute you feel used, and the other minute you mean nothing to them. It saddens me that I am put into a position where, looking at myself now, I think, why did this person cause so much harm to me as a child if in the end he proceeds to not contact? If as an adult he doesn't feel like I deserve a happy birthday on my birthday. And one may say that I also did wrong things now as an adult, and I did. I agree. I also did not reciprocate for a long time because I was hurt. Imagine spending your young, blissful life assuming that your father was the greatest man in your life, and then you proceed to find out that he proceeded to cheat on your mother multiple times, suddenly requested a divorce, and instead of at least being cordial, he proceeded to talk badly about your mother to you as a child, and then proceeded to give you this idea of who men were, how relationships worked, which then ruined the way that you saw men, made you afraid of men, made you weary of men. My sister was barely 3 years old when this happened. My sister, if they told her that my dad did not exist or if my dad was dead, she would have believed it. She would have lived her life assuming that our father was dead because he almost went no contact for most of our lives, and now it's truly no contact. And it makes me laugh at times thinking how much I earned for a relationship with a person that did not earn my attention. I wanted to say that I have a father. I wanted to invite him to parties and festivities and heck, even go with him, but not even did he created that environment for me, but even the family that he created on his side did not wanted that. And nothing against them because they're just another piece in the domino, but I'm also a piece in the domino. I am a piece of the puzzle that we are all in. Because if we see the universe as the full puzzle and we're all individual pieces playing our parts, why? Why can I only speak of this person with annoyance, disdain, frustration, anger? Because I don't feel like interacting anymore. I've become unbothered by his lack of communication. And this has been a very truthful thing for most of the interactions in my current life. Because let me make one thing clear. Being a parent is never going to be easy. Never. And I'm not saying that anyone that I know was ever easy, that they were unproblematic. Everyone has their issues, but you make choices. For a long time in my life, I made the choice of trying to resolve everything. I became an adult in a child's body way too fast. Tried to protect my mother and my sister. Tried to make myself feel worth it to other people, to make them forget about everything else. In the meantime, my father took the woman that he had chosen while married, proceeded to create a new life in the literal and figurative sense, because I proceeded to get news of my new sister that that was an interesting thing to deal with in the midst of all of it. And then to add to it, as I grew older, I wanted to have a relationship. I wanted to have this connection. I wanted to create this, and I couldn't. It was like talking to a wall. And now it became a wall. Since March, I've had no contact. And it's mainly due to his own issues. He has put himself into a hole that he's struggling to dig out, and he wanted to drag everyone else with him. And I saw it coming. And I'm speaking about parents and my father to make a particular point. There will be people in your life that come and go. Some come into your life to teach you a lesson. Some come into your life to test your motivations. And some come into your life to give you the most amount of blessings. And I think about certain people in my life that I look back, one of them being my father, and I think, what happened? What happened for me to deserve this? What is the lesson? What do I need to learn? And one thing that comes up very often in my mind is, this person came because you needed to understand that you don't need other people's attentions to be worthwhile to yourself. I am worth it on my own. I am more than enough to myself. I don't need the attention of this random person that I see once in a blue moon. I don't need the validation that I'm doing well by this person. Because the moment that I've let go of toxic people, toxic behaviors, destructive behaviors, habits that weren't serving me, the moment that I started to evolve for myself, by myself, for myself, I started to lose people. The moment that things started to go well in my life, people left. I became more confident. Certain people stopped talking with me. I understood my self-worth. Certain people stopped communicating. I created boundaries. My father left. The moment that I said no, the moment that I said I will not put myself in that situation, the moment that I said enough, he was gone like the wind. The last conversation that I had with him, the day that was the last day of us talking ever, up until the up until today, the last thing I said is, I will not help you because it will put me in a position where it could screw up with my future. Find someone else to help you. I need to get to work now. Goodbye. I told him goodbye. I never thought that goodbye would literally be goodbye. Now, some people may think, you yourself listening may think, do you regret it? Do you regret saying no? No, I don't. What was being asked of me was something that I find it that it could dig me into a hole. My own mother, after I told her what happened, proceeded to tell me that she would not let me go through it because she knew that would also dig me into a hole. And there will be people in your life that they will test you to see if you will break your boundaries, to see if you're going to succumb to their pressure, to see if you are truly what you appear to be. And if you crack under their pressure, we all know what's going to happen. What's going to happen is very simple. They will understand that you have a limit to your boundaries. And I'm not saying limit as in this is where my boundary starts and this is my limit. And from this point on is a boundary. No, we're talking about that they could crack you on your own words. You could say that your boundary is one thing, but you do another. You could say, I won't ever do this again and don't make me do it, and you'll fucking do it anyway. Because someone pressured you. A friend, a family, a stranger. Doesn't matter. You are so worth it. You are worth everything. You are a being of this universe. You are unique as the stars. And you're telling me that you're letting one singular person make you question everything. I made my father question me. My own father made me question if I was good enough, if I was strong enough, if I was willing enough, if I was determined enough, if I wanted something hard enough. It made me wonder, why the heck did I stick with toxic relationships? It made me wonder why I didn't pursue my life further. It made me think of why. And instead of me going for the what if and see what is on the other side of the door, of the window, of the opportunity, I stayed behind. For what? To make myself proceed to lose so many years of my life. I was so confused on what I wanted that I spent 3 years without studying. I proceeded to get into a formation to become an esthetician, quit halfway through because I was being bullied. My last day, which was a Friday, I was abused. I stayed the weekend crying. The next Monday, I quit the course. and a weight came off my shoulders, but only partially, because I had the looming pressure of my family of what the heck I was going to do, because in their minds, because they did not knew the whole story, I was a failure. It took me 2 years to convince them to get into a makeup course that I got in, I finished, and I finished with amazing grades. In less than 2 months, I got my first job at Sephora as one of their makeup artists. I stayed until December as they decided to use the excuse of my emergency surgery to remove my gallbladder as a way to send me away already. I proceeded to be in a vicious cycle of working around 4 to 6 months for multiple different cosmetic companies, finding myself working the last one up until April 2020, in which I was sent away with all the stuff that I needed to be able to survive a pandemic while injuring my foot a few months prior. I proceeded to heal myself, now walking perfectly fine. And in 2022, February 2022, I got my current job that helps me pay the bills. I have a good team, the environment is good, and has nothing to do with cosmetics. Nothing. But if I were to tell you 2020 to 2022, in those 2 years, I went through a massive shift because I was forced to. Imagine for 2 years of your life having to go through a massive change, a massive shift, just because you finally had silence with yourself. Because before that, I spent my life full of doing things. Going out with friends, going to work, coming out, back from work, sleeping, makeup, videos, YouTube. I looked like an addict of attention. An attention that I seeked from multiple people. And then, because I was forced to be acquainted again with my body, because I had broken a foot, I couldn't walk. I had to relearn how to walk. I had to get reacquainted with my body, with the feelings. And at the same time, it forced me to also dive into my emotions, dive into what I was feeling. I started to meditate. I started to do breath work. I started to read tarot cards. I started to read oracle cards. I started to be in tune with my own internal magic that had been locked away. And in that process, the people that did not like me, the people that wanted me in my weak state left. And now here's another one. My own father became a weak person in my eyes, and he has now left. Because I put boundaries. Because I wasn't his little girl that he could just say magical words saying that all I need is a signature. You don't need to be involved at all. You talk with me as if I'm 5. Last time you spoke with me, I was 28. Back then, with my age, you were married with a kid already. You married at 18. My mother had me as she turned 19. By 28, my goodness, by 28, just do the math. I was 8 years old when my sister was born. That literally means that you had 2 children or about to have 2 children at 28. So you're telling me that you as a man had enough brain matter to care for 2 children and a wife and a home and all of the bills, but somehow you speak with me as if I'm 5 years old just because I am your child? Well, I don't want to be your child anymore. I want to be your adult daughter and have adult conversations because I also have adult problems and adult issues and adult concerns. And that's the reality of life. We all have with issues and concerns and problems. But don't make yours mine. Do not accept someone else's issues as yours. Do not accept your boundaries being broken, your trust being broken. Do not accept that happening. Let them leave. If they leave, it's because they're not good for you. If they leave, they're not worth it for you. They're not enough for you. They're just not. Don't put yourself in that kind of position because you will just get your heart broken. You will get your trust broken. You will get your self worth, your self confidence in the bucket when this should be inside you and flourishing and growing and creating this magical life that you deserve to have. Everyone deserves to be happy, to be flourishing, to have the career that they wish, the amount of money that they want, the home that they want, the family that they want, the life that they dream for. But what we do, we look into society and we say, oh, I need to dress this way, be this way, stay that way, create this thing this way. I need to follow these particular fucking rules. You don't need to follow any bloody rules. You make the rules of what you want for your life. And don't be a smart ass and think that it's oh, but there's laws to abide for. I'm not talking about those. Who told you that you're supposed to wear black clothing just because you are a curvier woman and you need to hide your curves? Bloody show them. Are you a man that you love the romanticizing aspects of love and you love the idea of being this romantic man, but you're scared about the feminists? Have you seen Book Talk? Like, serious question. If you're a man listening to this, have you seen Book Talk? Stalkerish, possessive, she is mine, I am yours. Chivalry is sexy. Confidence is sexy. And I'm not saying this to the man anymore. I'm saying to men, women, everything in between. Be confident in yourself. Understand yourself and be who you want to be. So yeah. Fuck you, Dad. Guess what? You leaving my life has opened up the doors for me to just have more space for better people. And if you decide to come and crawl back in and try to appease me by appearing docile, you have to do a lot more. And that is if I even let you try. So be good and focus on yourself because you deserve more than what people think that you do. So focus on you until the focus is you.
Don't forget to follow That Girl Magic to stay updated on new episodes. Let's unleash our inner magic and create the life of our dreams. I'll see you in the next episode.